Welcome back to the channel. Have you noticed something strange? It doesn't matter where you live. Whether you're buying groceries, filling up your car, paying rent, or booking a holiday, everything seems to cost more than it did just a few years ago. A shopping trip that once cost $100 now costs $130 or even $150. Rent has climbed. Home prices have surged. Insurance premiums keep increasing. Electricity bills are higher. Even a simple cup of coffee costs noticeably more than it used to. Many people keep asking the same question. It's a fair question. After all, if inflation slows down, shouldn't prices return to normal? The surprising answer is probably not. In fact, many economists believe that the world has entered a new era where higher prices may become the new normal. But why? Who's responsible? Is it governments printing money? Is it corporations raising prices? Is it wars, climate change, supply chains? Or is something much bigger happening beneath the surface of the global economy? Today, we're going beyond the headlines to uncover the real reasons why nearly everything has become more expensive, and what this means for your future, your savings, and your financial freedom. Because once you understand how money really works, you'll never look at prices the same way again. Let's start with one important fact. You're not imagining it. Prices really have increased across almost every category: food, fuel, housing, healthcare, education, insurance, travel, construction materials, utilities. Almost everything has become more expensive. And this isn't happening in just one country. It's happening across much of the world. Countries with completely different governments, currencies, and economies are experiencing many of the same problems. So clearly, this isn't simply a local issue, it's global. But before we understand why prices keep rising, we need to understand one simple economic principle. Prices are determined by only two forces. Imagine there's a bakery that normally produces 1,000 loaves of bread every day. If suddenly only 700 loaves can be made because flour becomes scarce, while the same number of people still want bread, what happens? The price rises. Now imagine demand increases because the town's population grows, but the bakery still produces only 1,000 loaves. Again, prices rise. This simple relationship explains almost everything happening in today's economy. Unfortunately, over the last several years, the world has experienced both problems at the same time. Supply became weaker, demand became stronger, and that's the perfect recipe for inflation. But how did we get here? To answer that, we have to go back to one event that changed the global economy almost overnight. When the COVID-19 pandemic spread across the world, governments faced an unprecedented challenge. Businesses closed, factories stopped producing, international shipping slowed dramatically, millions of workers stayed home. Entire industries came to a standstill. At first, demand actually fell. People weren't traveling, restaurants were empty, oil prices even briefly collapsed. But governments feared something even worse than inflation: a deep global depression. To prevent mass unemployment and economic collapse, governments and central banks launched enormous rescue programs. Interest rates were cut to historic lows. Stimulus checks were distributed. Businesses received emergency support. Central banks created trillions of dollars worth of new money to stabilize financial markets. These actions helped prevent an economic disaster, but they also created a new problem. As economies reopened, people suddenly had money to spend. They wanted cars, furniture, electronics, holidays, homes, everything. Demand exploded, but production couldn't keep up. Factories were still struggling. Shipping containers were in the wrong places. Ports became congested. Computer chip shortages delayed production of cars, electronics, and household appliances. Companies simply couldn't make products fast enough. Imagine thousands of people rushing into a supermarket where only half the shelves are stocked. Prices don't stay low for very long. The same thing happened across the global economy. Businesses started paying more for raw materials. Transport became more expensive. Shipping costs surged. Energy prices increased. Companies then passed many of those higher costs on to consumers, which means you. But the story doesn't end there. Just as supply chains were beginning to recover, another global event sent prices even higher, one that affected almost every household on Earth. Energy is the hidden cost behind almost everything we buy. Oil powers trucks, natural gas heats factories, electricity keeps businesses running, farmers rely on fuel to grow food, ships burn fuel to transport products across oceans. When energy becomes more expensive, almost everything else follows. Over the past few years, global energy markets have experienced repeated shocks, from recovering demand after the pandemic to geopolitical tensions and supply disruptions. As fuel prices climbed, transportation became more expensive. Manufacturers paid more to produce goods. Farmers faced higher costs to operate machinery and make fertilizer. Those extra costs rippled through the economy, eventually showing up in supermarket aisles, utility bills, and online shopping carts. It's a reminder that even when you're buying something as simple as a loaf of bread, you're also paying for the fuel that powered tractors, trucks, factories, and delivery vans. And energy is only one piece of the puzzle. In Part 2, we'll uncover the other powerful forces driving prices higher, including how money printing, labor shortages, corporate pricing, and rising government debt are reshaping the global economy in ways many people never notice. Stay tuned for the next part.